In the year 2014, 32,675 people lost their lives in traffic accidents here in the United States. This is a number unreasonably high when considering everyone must go through a government-run program to receive their driving license. To prevent this number from climbing, as it currently has in recent years, I believe it should be mandated that every U.S. citizen should renew their driver's license through a test or either physically or a written test every 10 years. I'm interested in this topic because I constantly witness people not understanding basic traffic laws and rules while being on the road. To inform about this topic, I found necessary sources on websites belonging to Dr. H. Berg, a driver's education specialist, the National Highway and Traffic Society website, Traffic Safety website, an article about causation of traffic jams from Vox. First, we will discuss the current problem, the solution, and third, I will ask for your support as my fellow drivers. Let's begin by examining the problem at hand. Traffic accidents are, and expected, a hazard when it comes to driving, yet they can be prevented. Many people are aggressive and make ill-advised decisions while on the road. These decisions can lead to accidents and even injury. There are times that drivers do not understand how to handle these situations when they arise, even though they at one point were taught how to handle them. Thus, without consistent review, you lose those regulations that you were once taught, and they can continue to occur with the issues that come up. The big scary number that I mentioned earlier includes such accidents as fender benders and simple accidents that occur in slow traffic areas or parking lots. These simple accidents can be very easily prevented just by understanding the rules and being aware of one's surroundings. European countries, for example, have adopted roundabouts early when planning their city structures. The United States were not as forward with this, and they are just now coming around to incorporating these traffic intersections into our city planning. And I have personally driven with two people who did not understand how to use a newly put in roundabout. So after that situation, I realized that people do need to be reminded how traffic functions and how new rules come up and need to be understood. Now that we have considered the problem, let's investigate for a solution. To fix the problem, we need to start early education for drivers. This includes reforming how we currently teach people's driver's ed. Instead of just doing an online class you don't really need to pay attention to, we need to actually make people focus and pay attention to what they are learning. And then the test needs to be a little more difficult as well. After that, I believe re-education is the next important thing. And as I mentioned before, that's that 10-year plan where everybody has to retake either written or a physical driver's test every 10 years. Failure of that test means you have to go back to driver's education to take a course specified to you in your age group, no matter what it is, to determine when you can take your driver's test again and when you can keep your license. This plan saves people money because it will prevent them from getting into accidents, and it won't make insurance companies pay out, and it will help the government keep all those monies in the right place. Most importantly, this program will help get dangerous drivers off the road. This is very directed at elderly people who no longer feel they can drive but still choose to. This would make them either learn new rules so that they can advance with newer generations of drivers who are learning the new rules, or just get them off the road so people can drive safely. Now that we've examined a solution, let's look at what happens if we sit idly by and do nothing. For this, I've presented a PowerPoint presentation that I've printed out. This includes the traffic problems we see in the United States. The first one is a gentleman not wearing a seatbelt. This is one of the easiest ways to be safe while driving a car, yet people still ignore it and still choose not to be safe while getting in the car. So you can see here, it's a dangerous, and that's still something we see often, especially in younger people. Next thing we have is a big traffic jam. All right, this is often caused by people not understanding how to merge on, merge off, and keep a continuous pace while driving. It's caused by a lot of hesitation and people just not understanding what they're doing with a whole bunch of other cars, and then we back up like this and nothing happens. The next problem is texting and driving. This has come recently as new phones have been introduced where people do choose to text and drive at the same time. This is one of those newer regulations that have been in place where you're not allowed to text and drive in certain states. Other states it's still allowed. But that is something you need to be aware of and need to be taught for your state. Next issue is not knowing how to merge. I personally am very fond of everybody learning this rule. Being an interstate driver myself, I see a lot of people either hesitate and slow down or not understand to get over so somebody can get in and traffic can keep moving properly and safely. And finally, we have braking and merging for no apparent reason. We see this white car here is trying to merge lanes with this car in its blind spot, not being able to see it. This is often caused by just not paying attention to your surroundings. And that is something that we can re-educate if we have people who don't understand this basic principle. There is an unnecessary number of accidents in the United States, mainly caused by negligence and inattention of surroundings. These accidents cause a plethora of traffic problems and can cost people thousands of dollars or even their lives. To prevent accidents and traffic problems, driver's education should be restructured. This includes the initial program and such re-education programs that I have mentioned before for each age group. I would like you all to sign a letter that I plan to send to the Denver Motor Vehicle Department requesting a written and driving test every 10 years for citizens of Colorado. There are 32,675 deaths caused by traffic accidents in 2014, and that number continues to climb. With proper education and removal of poor drivers, this number will decrease and make the world a safer place.